Welcome to NBR Today. Trade Me has confirmed it's received an alternative, preliminary, non-binding, indicative offer from US private equity firm Hellman & Friedman at $6.45 a share. Shares rose 3.14% to $6.24 after the news broke before dropping back to $6.20 in the day's trading. Speculation arose last week about the competing offer, which comes 2 weeks after a proposal from British private equity firm Apax Partners to acquire 100% of its shares at a cash price of $6.40 a share. Trade Me says it's advised Apax Partners of the competing proposal. Apax Partners is undertaking due diligence on an exclusive basis, but the exclusivity is subject to a fiduciary carve-out that allows Trade Me to engage with third parties on unsolicited proposals. Shares in the company have risen 22% since the original offer was confirmed. The competing offer values the company at $2.56 billion. Former employees of Auckland-based Phoenix Publishing, which has the lifestyle publications Z Home and Z Inspired magazine, are calling for an employment banning order to be placed on its sole director, Bronwyn Rawson, aka Bronwyn Somerville. Ms Rawson, a former bankrupt, didn't respond to NBR's repeated requests for comment. Former employees say they were underpaid or not paid at all from 2016 to 2018, or went through Employment Relations Authority processes with awards totalling over $73,000. However, few have been paid. Ms Rawson refused to attend mediation sessions, and her refusal to pay or lack of remorse shown angered some ERA members in their decisions. The courts can prevent serial employment offenders from reoffending either through a pecuniary penalty order of up to $50,000, or they can make a banning order against a person if satisfied they have persistently breached employment standards. However, banning orders have been used only once by the court to date, against Gordon Leslie Freeman in March 2018 for 3 years, after he was taken to the ERA several times on non-payment of holiday pay. It's not just Phoenix's former employees who were left with a sour taste after dealing with Ms Rawson. Several business owners have come forward voicing their frustration over promised advertising that never eventuated or had never been asked for. The government has announced the details of a new $100 million green fund aimed at reducing New Zealand's greenhouse gas emissions. Establishing the fund was part of the Green Party's confidence and supply agreement with Labour. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says Green Investment Finance Limited is an important component of New Zealand's plan to build a clean, sustainable, low-carbon economy. It's based around lowering emissions while businesses remain profitable and will operate as an independent entity, similar to companies like City Rail Link. Over time, it's expected to become commercially viable in its own right. The announcement comes just days before Climate Change Minister and Greens co-leader James Shaw travels to Poland for another crucial United Nations climate change meeting. Mr Shaw says there are points of hope when considering the response to climate change, but does greed kill hope?
Human greed is certainly a confounding factor here. You know, the desire to continue making money doing the same old things that we used to do, the heavy investment that we've got that we don't necessarily want to write off in some areas, or the kind of fear of the future, and just that kind of cognitive bias that humans have got that says better the devil you know than the angel that you don't.
Scales Corporation directors have upgraded full-year guidance on healthy trading across all divisions and plumped up the dividend to match. EBITDA at the Christchurch-based agribusiness group for the 12 months to December 31 are now expected to be at the top end or slightly exceed a guidance range of $58 to $65 million. No guidance for 2019 was given due to the $151.4 million conditional sale of old storage subsidiary Polar Cold. Scales says it's making good progress on several initiatives for growth, some of which may be agreed in the near term. Vital Healthcare's manager, Northwest Healthcare, has borrowed $42 million from Vital to invest in Australian healthcare property company Healthscope. The catch is that since Northwest has the Vital management contract, it's lending the money to itself from the NZX-listed trust. Northwest acquired 3.31% of Healthscope in the purchase, bringing its total shareholding to 13.41%. Northwest says this extra funding reflects Vital's proportionate contribution to the funding required to support the acquisition. It brings Vital's total lending towards the acquisition to $86 million. Vital is already debt-laden. In its annual report released in September, the company's conservative debt-to-assets ratio was already 38.7%. The loan isn't the first strange move in 2 weeks from Northwest. On November 23rd, Northwest issued a statement through Vital saying the company would review its management fees and not exercise rights to increase fees and remove independent directors. And to tomorrow, Shane Jones tells NBR he expects changes at Landcorp following the appointment of new chairman Warren Parker at the SOE. So for more on that and other stories, head to our website and have a great evening.
To unlock your 2 free articles a week, head to nbr.co.nz.